How were you? I'm your girl Boost, straight shooter, just coming with the truth, at least my truth anyway. I wanted to share my feelings and thoughts about the Carmelo Anthony case. Most people are aware of it. If you're not, it's the young man that got sentenced to 35 years yesterday regarding the death of a opponent at a track meet, school opponent. He said self-defense, which I believe and I stand on that, and it ain't up for debate. And the other people said that Carmelo was the instigator, which I doubt. I know it. I just know. When you know, you know. But anyway, I get very passionate about politics and policies because it governs our lives. It is what impacts the quality of how we live. And so since Clinton, he was the first time that I was able to vote. Actually, when I graduated high school, 1992, that was an election year, and that was the first time I voted for President Bill Clinton. And I have been passionate about politics ever since. And not something that I was ingrained or conditioned to do. It's just sometimes it's just within you, right? And it is truly, genuinely within me. But I was extremely, deeply concerned and troubled when the verdict came back guilty. We all knew it was because all white jury, Texas, it's just not, history repeats itself. Nothing new under the sun. And this is why I don't understand and I don't encourage people of color that look like me to be running to these red states. And especially if you're not from there and you don't know how to navigate it, it is a different experience. Texas has always, like Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, have their own laws. And it ain't for people that look like you and me. But a lot of white tea people will taunt you. And this is what I want to talk about. They want to try to agitate and taunt us about Carmelo and what's going to happen to him and penitentiary and, just always trying to poke the bear, right? But there is a man, and I know this. See, it's all about psychology. They want a race war for sure. Not all, but a lot of them. The ignorance, the degenerates, the less thans, the ones that know they're nothing, the bullies, the undesirables want this, right? But we are smarter, wiser, more educated, more strategic than they would like us to be. And this is what I want to share with you about all these races and unfair tactics that they're trying to use. Sometimes you got to be quiet and listen. And I had to do that because I was ready to pop off and, get all caught up in my emotions like I was yesterday, just ready to be about it. But we have to move differently. And there's a gentleman by the name of Big OG Matt, 518 or something like that, black guy, former military. He talk a lot of stuff, but I believe everything he say. Look him up and follow him. He made a point that I needed to hear. My mother actually said this to me yesterday when I was speaking to her about, the verdict in Karmelo. And the one thing she said is, because I was concerned, he's so young, he's not a bad kid, just everything that I just hate that happened to this young man that would have had a promising and still can have a promising future. She said he's still alive. Shout out to the baby boomers. And that's what Big Matt said. Like when people, in our comments trying to agitate and say all those memes about Karmelo and penitentiary and all the things that's going to happen to him. And he said, it's a psychological warfare, and that's real. Just respond with, he alive. And that's true. And even though I am disheartened, and I know nobody wins in this, but he had every right to defend himself, which I believe he did. He was put in that situation. This boy, 130-something pounds. That boy is 210 plus. He 5'8". Oh, boy, 6'1", 6'2". Absolutely not. Kick rocks. We know how this thing go. And there are a lot of bullies. Like they say, don't let your president get you effed up. A lot of them is letting their president provide them with liquid courage. And we know the system isn't for us. I'm not condoning violence or anything. What I am saying is stay alive and survive. We didn't create this. We have never created this. But we have every right to exist and to live. And however that looks like, whatever you have to do to protect you, that's what you do. Because, see, it's a lot of sick people out here. And sometimes you can't defend mentally sane with consciousness, if you know what I mean. Anyway, say a prayer for Karmelo and his family. Let's not forget about this young man. He deserves our support, his family, because him today, somebody else tomorrow. Just stay alive.